Come here. Get off.
Welcome to this week's episode of The Turn On. So, this week we are reading Of Fear and Faith by N.D. Jones. So, sit back, relax, get your wine, get your weed, get your whatever you need, and enjoy.
Of Fear and Faith by N.D. Jones. Asifa pulled her to the bed, but it was she who pushed him down, straddling him as she'd done earlier. He was hers now, so Sonora eagerly kissed and licked every scrumptious inch of Asifa's neck, shoulders, and chest, pleased when she heard him purr in pleasure. She slid down his mighty body to free his arousal from the boxers, tossing them to the floor. Impressed and feeling like she should give a shout out to Sekhmet for creating such a fine specimen, Sonora stared at Asifa's magnificent bronze body. The touch, sound, and taste of him hit hypnotically unnerving. Animal or male magnetism didn't begin to capture the explosions he set off deep inside her. Unable to speak those binding and fathomless words of commitment, she poured all her emotions into exploring his body, enjoying locating all the spots that most made him purr. Just when Sonora was about to take him in her mouth and suck him until he squirmed under her mind-blowing ministrations, losing all control, Asifa rolled her over and then effortlessly divested her of her panties. Damn him. You've tortured me enough, temptress. I see you like to play with fire. She wiggled teasingly under him, his penis heavy, hard, and not where she wanted it. I'm a fire witch. That's what I do. It is? Well, I got something for you, my little witch. Sonora just bet he did, and she couldn't wait. But Asifa jumped from the bed. Less than 20 seconds later, he was back with a triumphant smile and a closed fist. He opened his hand and gold sparkling paper unfurled. Boy Scout, she said with a smile, and then paused, looking closer. Magnum? Her grin widened. Braggart. Fire and ice condoms, temptress. He showed her the profile of a warrior of ancient Troy and winked at her, slow and outrageously cute. We wasted one earlier. He tore one open and put the condom on, rolling it until it covered his magnificent girth. If you aren't tired, let's see how much fire and ice we can stand. The glow of his eyes was her only warning before he took Sonora in a hard thrust, ripping a scream of pleasurable shock from her. You're so soft and wet, Asifa moaned. Every part of their bodies joined in an electrical dance that shot through her like lightning through a tree, powerful and unforgiving. Pulsing, throbbing white heat invaded the room, captured and then released as the rhythm pounded loudly and methodically to the beat of their own making. Passion-filled groans charged the atmosphere. Sacred names broke the sound barrier in a soul-rendering symphony made up of an orchestra of two intertwined bodies of sweat and desire. Oh, gods, yes, yes, Sonora yelled, not caring how loud she was. Right now, she felt more than capable of outscreaming even the Banshee Queen. And for the love of Isis, was Asifa growing inside of her? Longer? Thicker? God's saver. He was. He had. And she was full to overflowing, receiving more than she'd ever dreamed possible. Eyes a dark shade of gold now, Asifa's fangs slipped a little from his gums, the tips of them below his top lip. At this moment, Sonora knew his cat instinct was to claim her, to bite into her flesh and take her as his mate. His mate. Sonora tensed. Asifa stopped. Her fire spirit raged, hissing at the woman to complete the joining, to not fear the unknown, the uncontrollable. He stared down at her, his body trembling. From mating need or halted pleasure, she couldn't determine. With clear effort, if not reluctance, fangs lifted, then disappeared. The mood threatened to follow. She watched him, wondering what he would do now, if he would decide he made a mistake taking her to bed. Then, like replacing a dead battery, Asifa sparked to life, nipping her shoulder. No worries. He began to move, setting the pace, a slow speed that was no less intense, no less toe-curling for its lack of raw force. There were no more words, no more attempts at claiming, no more fear, just the heat, just the passion, just the burning pleasure of two bodies in search of unforgettable rapture.
Okay, y'all, welcome back. So that was Of Fear and Faith by N.D. Jones, read by the lovely Killa Ken.
Hey.
So, Kenrya, this book is full of lots of twists and turns and spoilers that I don't want to give away. So,
Yeah.
take it away.
Okay, let's see, how can I do this? So in this book, our two main characters. Ooh, it is hard to do without telling too much information. Sonora and Asifa have generational generational power that is vested in them.
So first, it's a witchy book, right? It deals
yes,
with like
it
spirituality and witchcraft and that kind of thing, right? Okay.
Yes. And it's rooted in like stories of the Orishas and things, which is pretty cool because it is very distinctly a Black witch's tale. But it's obviously fiction, so there's just this wonderful world and all this lore that the writer created. But so basically, they have a connection. But they don't know it until they meet, but they sense it instantly. And the two main characters come together because there is a creature that is killing witches in Baltimore. And they both
in
Baltimore. And they both represent two of the factions that have a stake in trying to figure out what this creature is, where it is, and to make it stop killing witches. And they come together and sense that they are tied together in some way, and hijinks ensue. Including this. Yes. This lovely sex scene.
This lovely romp.
Yes.
Okay, so I feel like this is our final full-length episode of season 3.
Yeah.
Round of applause. Baby, make that ass clap. But I also feel like this is just so timely for where I am in my life right now. I feel like, yeah, I know. I feel like we haven't caught up in a while. I mean, you have so much going on, and so I'm trying to, give you some space.
Thank you. But I be needing sometimes breaks. Y'all, I got some medical stuff going on. We don't really know what it is. I'm tired. And so
I literally usually call Kenrya like, so there's this ingrown nail and I need you to look at it. But I'm trying to like chill. Well, a few things. One, I am reshaping, reevaluating, looking at my spirituality. It's always been a journey, and I've always kind of considered it loosey-goosey, But I recently made an ancestor altar.
You told me last night, yeah.
Yeah, so I recently made an ancestor altar, and so I started reading this book about Orishas and voodoo queens and all of that. And it has really been speaking to me. And so Kenrya's face is like, oh shit.
I mean, I'm surprised, and also we have some folks who are really deep in that world who could be great resources if you know.
Who I have been talking to.
Okay,
actually.
good.
So it has been, it's been a journey. Like I'm reading the book, and like one of the things that is first telling me, like, yeah, the Sarisha stuff is great, but you need to start with ancestor work. Like I was listening to this podcast, this woman on I'm not sure if it was a podcast or a YouTube. Oh my gosh, I need to figure it out so that I can properly attribute it to her. But she was like, essentially, ancestor work is like, you know, when you were a kid and you're walking around with your parents. I can't walk up to you and give you candy. I got to talk to your parent and say, hey, parent, is it okay to give this kid candy? So although I might feel like I have some special connection to Yemaya or Oshun, I can't be running up to them like, hey, girls, what the deal? Give me all your juju. No, I got to like work through my ancestors because they will give me what I need at the appropriate time in order to make what I receive from your Orishas digestible.
For you,
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know where I am in this. I just know that I am.
I love it.
And it has been very interesting. Like, also, y'all are literally like in on me and Kenrya's like updating each other on our lives. I have been really going hard with my entrepreneurship, and the person that I'm working with that's helping me develop my brand and website and all that, she practices, and we talk a lot, and she has been giving me a lot of guidance in addition to the people you're probably thinking of, that I've had to call and be like, look, girl, so I have a question. And I feel like this is all tangled and tied up together. And somehow I feel like my path through figuring out spirituality, like what spirituality looks like for me in this stage of my life, is tied to my role as the erotic revolutionist, my role as, you know, bringing about a change in the way that Black women, femmes, and non-binary folk experience and feel and think about and talk about sex. And so we were just, when we first got on the call, I was telling Kenrya that like I'm praying for patience every morning because I feel like I have all of this stuff in me that I have to get out, but it has to get sorted to get out. So, yeah.
Wow.
That's where I am. So this is
all pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
And entangled.
Yeah, it's very entangled and not that kind. But it's, you know, it's been interesting. It has been interesting. And then today, you know, I sat and did some talking. Right now I still feel like I'm talking to myself. But at some point it'll kick in, you know?
I'm sure it will. I mean, I think you know, even in dealing with my daughter, when she first like started to pray without me, like she was like, I mean, can he even hear me?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm just
talking to yourself.
I'm just talking. And then I'd be like, yes. And even if it's in your head, he hears you. And she's like, what?
Like, I gotta check these thoughts.
Exactly. But like, you know, I think she's coming to that place where God feels like her homeboy in the way that he does mine. And it's been pretty cool to see, but it's just time.
Yeah. And we've been wanting to do a witchy
book for a long time.
Yeah. And it took a while to find one that kind of just matched with hit all the buttons for us.
I mean, it's definitely got some binary stuff that, you know, was interesting and not necessarily our lane. But other than that, like, we had so much trouble finding a witch book that felt Black.
that felt black, that didn't feature like some like Nordic goddesses.
Yeah.
And so it was good that we got to do this, because I think also I feel like, and we'll talk about this next week with Halen, but I feel like we think about witchy stuff and witches as this, like, bitches in the park in all black. We thinking of Azealia Banks, right? Boiling cats.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Did she have chickens in the closet or something?
Yeah, she was doing like some
sacrifice or something.
Yeah, and then like she was on Instagram and she like, I think they said she boiled her cat.
Oh.
I mean, it was like a dead cat. Like she dug up her cat and then boiled it. And they were like, she gonna eat the cat. And she was like,
okay.
I don't even eat dead
meat, right?
I don't even eat dead cows. Like I was about to tamoxify it. Not tamoxify. Taxiderm it. I'm thinking cancer medication.
But there's so much, I think there's so much mystery and skepticism, and also this idea that the different parts, like I love the way you were talking about how all of this is entangled, because I think people tend to sit certain things over there.
Yeah. And it's like, y'all, I mean, everyone said like y'all be afraid of witches. But then you be like, don't put my purse on the floor. Don't sweep over my feet. Don't break the glass. And it's like, come on.
Don't let nobody sit on your bed. Like all of these things that are so ingrained in who a lot of us, especially I guess people with Southern roots, Black folks in this country, that we fucking live by, yo.
Yeah. And I the more I learn and the more I think about it, it's just so beautiful to like, it's just the story of like, Black religion is the story of Black Americans, or Black people across the diaspora, because you take this very African thing and then you turn it into what works for you. People probably know this, but it was new to me, about how they have like the Catholic little statues and stuff. And so people in voodoo cultures in voodoo religion, or I'm probably talking about it wrong, but anyway, people practicing voodoo would stuff like their own prayers, their own, I want to say trinkets, idols in the statues, and they're praying to that because, it looks like you're praying to the Virgin Mary, and it's like, yeah, girl, whatever. I'm praying to who's inside of there. And so
because white supremacy, does the work of vilifying the things that, come naturally to us, and the things that have been a part of our culture and a part of who our ancestors were and are, forever.
Yeah. And so it's just beautiful. Like I am trying, I'm busy as hell. I'm harried, but I feel like I'm trying to enjoy this journey. So that, because I feel like the journey is going to help me figure out what the hell this looks like in the end. So
love it.
Yeah. But damn, I gave a whole ass update about my name. But something else that like stood out in the book that's very, again, apropos for me in my life right now is the dating. Like the two people, what are their names again? I'll fuck it up.
Asifa and Sonora.
These glasses are too big, so they keep falling off. This is what I get for buying
They're super cute.
$3 glasses on Instagram.
Oh, that's where you got them. Wait, are those the ones that were pink and green, but everybody was like, they'd be cuter in a different color?
These aren't them, but I have those in green and brown, like green, black, and brown. So I'll show you those later. Okay. Same company, adore it. But one of the things that, and we're not giving the details on that because they are not Black owned and we ain't getting no money off of it. I'll let it play it if you see me on the street and I'll give you the details. But I am currently dating, and I am trying to date with intention and be serious about where, like what's going on, And so a lot of these these issues that are coming up here are very like, oh, this is like, these are things that I have to actively ask myself. I need to make an appointment with the therapist about, now that I'm talking, because I don't have an appointment. But you know, like, these are things that I definitely have to now, like, that I'm talking myself through as I like am actually meeting great people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, okay, Erica, is it this? Is it that? What are you doing? Like, it's constantly a assessment, that kind of thing. So, one of the first, what are you thinking?
No, it's interesting. I want to know. Tell me the things.
Oh, okay. So, like, I met this guy. He's nice. We're having a great time. And I'm asking myself, like, it's not intense, but it's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Do you want it to be intense?
That's the thing. Like, do I? You know, like, I'm used to intense, but I'm also divorced. You know, like, I've got a trail of bad relationships behind me. So I'm used to intense. Intense feels normal, but it's like, is intense good for you right now? You know? Right. And so I'm trying to, like, ask myself, like one of the things that happens in this book is what we kind of talked about as a thing was love bombing, which is when someone shows up and they're everything you need and everything you want and it's the greatest things. And then, you know, 6 months later, you like, what the fuck am I doing? How did I get here?
Yeah, usually it's a cover for them being actually a shitty person, but they want to get you under their spell before you figure it out.
Exactly. Or they could just not be for you, you know? Like, and I
guess, but love bombing very much to me shouts, I'm gonna fuck you over, but let me do this right quick so that you don't notice.
See, I don't know if I've gotten, like, I've met people so far that have done the intense love bombing, and I think some of it has been they're shitty people. Mm-hmm. Some of it I think is that they desire a relationship so much that they're going to do whatever it takes to get that relationship. And so I find myself doing the thinking for the both of us, because I'm like, hey, hold on, you don't know if you want all that from me, you know, that kind of thing. Because I do think, like, I met this one guy and I do think he was truly genuine about, like, I think in his mind he thought that, you know, this is it, she's the greatest. And I mean, a bitch is. But I think it was more from she cool, I'm cool, she's single, I'm single, she look, you know, like, but it wasn't like a, do we really, you know, like, is it really that, you know?
Or are we making something work?
Yeah, we just like doing this because it's like, you free, I'm free, let's kick it, you know? And so, and that there is what I am trying to suss out in everything right now, you know? Like,
gotcha.
I meet a new guy and he's nice and it's fun. And I think that I'm recognizing that in the past, a lot of my relationships have been like passionate from the start, which is good, but is it, you know, like, is it right? Is it what I need? You know, and so, and I want whatever I go into next to be, if not the one for a long ass time, you know?
So I'm going to sound like a broken record because this is something I've been telling you as your best friend for years now.
I need to write a list. I
don't know how you can be intentional about what you're looking for if you haven't figured out what you're looking for.
Okay, cut. No.
And it doesn't have to look like a checklist, because I know that you worry that taps into your OCD.
Yeah,
but there can be some creative ways that you can Because how do you know if someone is what you want if you don't know what you want?
So I have, okay,
Don't be looking at me like that.
because
This
I
is
have,
why
so
you keep me around.
I literally have started a list.
Yes.
Hold on, let me see if I can flash it. What I want in a partner.
Yes.
Whatever, bitch.
It's on our phone. It's in notes, y'all.
Yeah, I definitely have started a list because, and I'm dating, and so now I'm learning like what I like and what I don't like, and like, ooh, I can't do that. And one of the things that I'm realizing, like, I've met like some really nice guys that are just really comfortable in their jobs, and I'm not comfortable with that.
Really?
Not like, no, let me not say that.
Like you want them to be more ambitious?
I need
or-
ambition, and not like to the like, gotta hustle every week ambition. So I met this guy, and he was a medical coder. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. And he's like, yeah, I can do it in my sleep. Yada, yada, yada. I'm like, well, did you want to go to like med school or nursing school or something? Yeah, I did, but I don't want to no more. I just like this. This is cool. I get paid. I get good raises and my benefits are cool. So I'm going to do that. And I'm just kind of like, for me, it's like, dude, you like 37. Like, you can't, I'm not comfortable with someone being comfortable in that for the rest of their life. Like, and maybe it's because now I am at the point where I'm like, I can't be sitting behind this desk for the rest of my life.
That's what I was going to say, because I feel like you have done jobs where you were doing them because they were rote. Right?
Yes, but
you
I
got
always
to the point
knew
where that was untenable for you.
I always knew that wasn't the end.
Right.
These people, this guy is like, I'm fine retiring from here, getting a Rolex, or getting a nice watch, get my Timex, right? And to me, I'm just not comfortable with that, like, not saying that, like, I don't need you to, like I said, I don't need you to be like, I'm about to create this app and take over the world. But so, I also, what are you going to say?
Well, no, I want to speak to that without at all feeling like, I don't want to at all feel like I'm milking your yum, right?
Yeah, but and I also like am trying to figure out how to properly articulate that, because I also don't want to make it seem like I'm on some like,
like it's classist.
Yeah, like because like my granddaddy was a janitor. My mama ain't have a car, like, so we ain't, but it's just, I want someone that's gonna strive for more. But at the same time, also, like, I'm learning my love language is physical touch. Shut up, bitch. And quality time. So
yes, I could have told you that a decade ago. So it's interesting. So the thing that's on my list,
I'm rolling my eyes at you so hard.
Whatever, is that the person has to be happy with what they do.
Yes.
Yeah,
well, no,
because let me finish.
Okay.
One, I've been with men who were really unhappy in their jobs, no matter what it was that they were doing. And so I find that when people in general are unhappy in their jobs, they tend to bring that home, and they're unhappy because you spend so much time working. And so I want to be around people who find, I don't think that work should be our, the seat of our joy, because it's fucking work and we're in this capitalist society where we have to do this shit to survive. But I also don't want to be with someone who is hating what they do for hours upon hours out of the day. I don't actually care what they do as long as they're not a cop. But they have to be able to take care of themselves financially, and they have to be able to say that they are happy in the work that they are doing. And as someone who has been an entrepreneur for a long time, honestly, I sometimes talk about this with my partner who is also an entrepreneur. You know, like we spent a lot of time sitting up working
I mean, look,
together.
a good every 2 weeks check is delightful. That's why I
Yeah.
am where I am and have been for a while.
Yeah. And I can appreciate I can't honestly remember the last time I was in that kind of a situation, because even when I worked at magazines, it was still you got to be there till whatever time at night. But the idea that you can just go to work and do your job, and at 5 o'clock you can fucking leave and you ain't got to think about that shit till 9?
Like,
What?
whoa.
I kind of love it. And I do not at all hate the idea. Like, I get it. I get why that is comforting and why that is something that someone would want to do. It sounds fucking dope. It's just not for me because I don't want nobody over my shoulder. But I completely get the impulse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am yeah, I'm still working through it, cuz also again, I'm not trying to sound elitist. I'm still trying to figure it out, and I appreciate you bringing that nuance to the conversation, because I ain't trying to like block my blessings, cuz girl,
They come in a lot of different forms.
I'll be driving slow behind them trash trucks like, hey, Z.
Oh, because they be fine.
Hey, Z. I see how you slung that trash can with one arm. My nasty ass. Yeah.
But I'm really glad that you have a list and that you're being intentional in your dating. Whatever. Stop rolling your eyes at me.
Yeah.
I'm being supportive.
Yeah. But also, okay, so here's the thing. Like, I literally met somebody. I'm trying to debate if I'm going to share this.
How much?
How much I'm going to share.
Yeah.
We're going to go, and some of this might get cut out. So I literally matched with this guy 2 days ago.
Oh.
So far, everything on my list. Like, everything down to good teeth. Like, down to good teeth.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. He knows a few of my friends. And one of my friends who is very, very discerning, she was like, oh, he's cool people. You better swipe on him. I was like,
Okay.
And so now, like, the reason that I don't want a list is because I'm looking at this list and I'm looking at him and I'm like, oh my God, Erica, don't fuck it up. Don't blow it. Don't accept fuck shit. Pressure. You know? And so now it's just like, yeah.
So the list got him in the door, right? Did you make the other list? The list about how you want to feel?
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the second part of the list exercise is to make a list of how you want to feel when you are engaged with this person. So that helps you to move past that superficial, this height, this, teeth, whatever, to, all right.
Oh, I do have a little bit of how I want to feel
mixed into that one.
You see that?
I do. Yes. Good. So then what I have done is.
I hate you. You turn me into.
I use that list to help guide things moving forward. Once, okay, cool. That's what's up. They met that criteria. But then there's so much more. And then a lot of that comes down to not just being intentional, but listening to yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I went on a date with somebody who seemed fine on the surface, but when I got home from that date, I had a panic attack, remember?
Yeah.
I remember sending you a picture that I took with him, you and our friend, and y'all were like, ooh, y'all look like an ad or some bullshit.
Yeah.
I literally got home, laid on the couch, had a fucking panic attack, called you and said, I need your therapist information right now.
Yeah.
And that began my latest journey into therapy, because my body.
Successful.
Yes, thank God. All the alarm bells were going off in my body, but I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
But once I listened on that fucking couch where I couldn't settle down.
It was like, oh, bitch, you gonna listen.
Yeah. So that's the next part of being intentional, is trusting in your intuition.
Yeah. So I don't even, Bitch, how are we there in the fucking book?
So that actually brings up something that was key in the book to me, was that Sonora was waiting for the other shoe to drop. Right? Like, this man checked off all the things that she wanted.
Baby.
She's like, what's wrong with him? What's going to fuck this up? And I was just having this conversation with my partner about how, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I have definitely very often found myself with people who seem fine at first, and I was waiting for the shoe to drop, especially once I got healthy. And he was like, well, wait, were you waiting on the shoe to drop with me? I said, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was like, well, what did you think it was? And I was like, I don't know.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
I was like, it could have come from anywhere.
And that's the thing.
You can't even I had my head on the swivel.
You can't even properly prepare for it, because you'd be like, okay, this nigga got a baby. He got another wife or something. You know, like, you're preparing for that. And then it'd be like,
it's going to be a family across the country.
Yeah.
And it's like he spent too much money on shoes or some shit.
Yeah. Like, yeah. It will be anything. So, yeah,
It could be anything. Yeah.
And I have been dating another guy. Damn, I don't know how much this we gonna be. Well, fuck it. Niggas need to know they got competition. So I'm dating another guy, and it's nice and it's fun and things are good, but
are they? Look at your face.
I'm waiting for. I guess I'm waiting. I feel like I'm waiting for the shoe to drop. Like, I'm like. Yeah. I mean, and but the also is not so like. I think the biggest thing that I'm dealing with right now is I am so used to the highs, and it was always like with me and my ex-husband, when the shit was great, it was fan-fucking-tastic, but when it was horrible, it was low. Mm-hmm. He did not beat on me. Sorry, I had to say that for my cousins. My cousins listening to it.
He did not. He would have got, well.
Yeah, everybody would have fucked him up. But yeah, so, and so I think because I've only always swung both sides of the pendulum, I'm looking for consistent happiness.
Yes.
And I know consistent happiness is not always a 25 out of a 10. Like, you're not going to wake up every morning like, ooh, because that's just like your mind gets numb to. It's kind of like if you you shaking your head.
Girl, I am consistently happy, but it's the first time. I'm almost 40, and it's the first time I ever felt this way.
But I mean, like, okay, damn, now you ain't. Well, shit.
Damn, I just made it worse, right?
Nah, I'm about to send a fucking few text messages, because also, like, I am like firmly comfortable being alone. And maybe it's only because I'm only a few years into my journey, because I feel like I look at some folks and they be like, send me a man.
But I feel like you got to get there to get there. Like, I wouldn't, until I got comfortable being by myself, because, well, first of all, our therapist forced me to be. And then I was like, oh,
that too.
This is beautiful. I wouldn't have been ready. Like, we in session all the time when, we're doing updates, she'll just say, I just got to say again.
Girl, don't you?
So glad we did that work.
Just mind your business.
Right.
Mind your business.
Patting herself on the back and whatnot. But she's right. And if I hadn't gone through being by myself, but also doing the work, right? Not just being by myself and pining, but being by myself and figuring out why I never liked to be by myself before, right? Being by myself and figuring out what it was that I actually needed and I wanted. Being by myself and figuring out how it was that I wanted to feel and what I would accept and what I wouldn't accept. That is what laid the groundwork for me to be in a relationship where I am consistently happy. Yeah. Realizing that it is not the partner that brings the happiness, right? It is the union that we've created and the life that we are creating together that helps to boost my overall joy.
Yeah. And I feel like that is key. Yeah. That's the part where it's like, ooh, we gotta get there.
But I will say, like, you're dating and things feel unsure. But But shit pop up. You know what I mean? Like, my partner was living 2 minutes away, 2 blocks away. Never would have met him out on the street because he always in the car and I'm always fucking walking. It was an app, but it was random. It felt random. Like,
Yeah.
I dropped the age on the app and there he was. And I was like, fuck it, let's give it a go. But like, because he had a nice smile and he looked like he was fun.
Yeah.
But it felt out of left field. And I didn't go on the first date thinking, oh, this is going to be my great love. It just was kind of like by the end of the first date, I was like, I'm going to fuck this nigga. And then...
Well, alrighty.
Yeah. And then by the end of the second date, it was like, damn, this might not work, but I'm going to still fuck this nigga. And then a week later,
you, pussy, for keeping me involved.
Basically, because then I did. And then it became clear that shit was amazing. Not because of that, but just because I stayed around and didn't give time to a bad situation, but just explored it and listened to my body and listened to my mind and my heart and figured it out. And so I say that to say it feels like shit can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
You just gotta listen to what your gut is telling you as you go.
Yeah. Also, I have this firm. So one of the themes in the book also are just like timelines and defense mechanisms. Like I'm waiting for the shoe to drop, so I'm just gonna keep a wall up until the shoe drops out this motherfucker, right? And I'm realizing that who doesn't? But I'm realizing that I have like a visceral reaction to rejection. Like shoot yourself in the foot reaction to rejection.
Like go off on a nigga if he says something that felt even a little bit like,
I have too much pride to be going off on niggas. Okay. You will never catch me going off on a nigga. But I will cut you. One of my friends was like, your cutoff game is strong. You gonna act like you don't know nobody. Yup, sure do. And I'm good at it. But I kind of also think like, damn, did you chop that nigga for no reason? So yeah, like I definitely, and that's also something that I'm paying attention to as I'm dating, because I recognize that like I texted a guy, like I'm an early morning person. Like you texting me at 9:30 is the equivalent of me texting you at 5:30 in the morning. I'm up. Not everybody's up, but I'm up. What's going on, right? I texted this guy. He texted me at like 10:30 at night. I texted him when I woke up, which was like 5, but it was like
I don't text you that late unless I can hear you up downstairs.
Right. It was my bad. I was asleep. So then we kind of started chatting. I'm like, yo, can you talk? He was like, oh my God, it ain't even 9 o'clock. And to me, that was like, you ain't gonna carry me and try to make me feel like I'm a needy bitch. I was like, you know what? Have a great day. Block, 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 block.
Well,
and I feel, and now that I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, maybe I was a little hard, but like, you ain't gonna make me feel like something wrong with me for wanting to have a conversation early in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And it's, again, like, if you for me, you gonna know that Erica might want to have a conversation at 8:30 in the motherfucking morning.
Well, but more than that, I guess, even if you don't want to have a conversation at 9 o'clock in the morning, you'd be like, yeah, my eyes are barely open. Can I call you a little? Like, don't try to, like you said, don't try to fucking carry you.
Don't try to carry me, bitch. Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna tell you ever to unblock a nigga, so. You know my block game is strong. I was
channeling Kenrya when I did that. I was like, where else shall I block this motherfucker?
Because I will block you any and every fucking where. It's like you never existed.
Ooh, I'm sorry to this man. I do not know this man. I am sorry to that man. Okay.
Wait, wasn't she saying that about Biden? About the president?
It was about the vice president, about Cheney.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind.
Never mind. Continue on. Okay. Also something you kind of touched on this. This book is very binary. There are lots of gender roles in it.
Yeah.
Do you think it's more just gender roles, or did that make the story? Did that move the story?
Hmm.
Wasn't that a good
That's a
question? I feel
really
like I was
great
Kenrya asking that
question.
question.
So some of it seemed like, how do I say this without giving? The structure of their lineage is such that, like, the women, theirs is matrilineal. So their power is passed down through these female witches. And the cats is patrilineal.
Yeah. Oh.
So they are passed down. The cats are all
Sorry.
men. So some of it was really kind of just based on the lore that was built, in that their familiars are men. And so the language kind of lent itself to that. It would talk about sometimes feminine energy and masculine energy. And I mean, I guess that's a thing, maybe. I don't know. But every time I saw it, it stopped me up short.
Yeah.
But my guess is that most people would probably, it wouldn't even register.
We have to. I feel
You know,
like we wouldn't be
everybody
doing our
ain't-
job at the turn on here
Yes.
without saying something
Pointing
about
that
it.
out. Yeah. But it didn't detract from the story.
Mhm.
I think it just was kind of the universe that the writer built
Built it in. Mhm.
Yeah.
So so I always say that I am a womanist through and through,
Mm-hmm.
except when it comes to taking out the trash and killing bugs and rodents. I will turn into one of them bitches that faint on them chains.
Fainting couch.
Oh Lord.
Fainting couch.
Oh Lord, my binder's too tight. My course is too tight. I must faint. I do not like. My son knows I will put shit on the trash, on the top of the trash, around the trash, on the floor, whatever. I ain't touching the motherfucking trash because I'm a woman. If I'm here alone and there's no sign of anyone coming back within like the next 24 hours, okay, I'll do my own trash. But yeah, I'm clearly like...
That's where your gender roles kick in.
I was going to say take me back to the 1800s, but then I would have been a slave. So, no.
Yeah, no.
I lied about that. But yeah. What about you? Do you have like some like clear, I ain't fucking with that?
I do, but it's not around. So I've been living alone, right? Since I was, or at least like not in a situation where there was consistently somebody there to do those things for me since I left to go to college. So I don't have sons.
Yeah.
I don't have the luxury. So I have always done all the things myself. But my partner, when he's here, he literally automatically, when he's leaving, he goes and collects whatever garbage is here and takes it downstairs for me without me having to ask. And I appreciate it.
That's your role.
I mean, I do it if he doesn't do it, but I very much appreciate that he does it for me, but whatever. The one thing that I have never done is cut grass. And it is because I am so fucking allergic to grass, but also I don't want to cut grass.
Exactly. Like, fuck an allergy. That's because you don't want to. I know that, like, and that's the stuff. Like, there are certain things. I mean, I have a whole hypothetical list. Like, in my next marriage, long-term relationship, we living together. Like, if we live together, you washing my car. Like, you were going to.
You had that. Your ex-husband was really good about like taking care of your vehicle, wasn't he? Oh, look at your face. I thought he was good at that.
He be good at pestering me to tell me to go take care of my vehicle.
Oh, never mind. I was giving him too much credit.
I mean, like if I was like, yo, I need some tires, and he'd be like, okay, I'm gonna take it. Because, and also, he made it so that I could go play, like, so it wasn't like, no, like, I am going to be like, on Sundays, you taking my car to go get cleaned. Whereas with my ex-husband, he was like, my friend owned a shop. You can go by anytime. I ain't trying to go sit and get my car cleaned. So,
Okay.
so yeah, like, I mean, and that is so random, but I'm literally giving niggas the hack to Erica.
Well, but so here's the thing, right? And actually don't think of this as necessarily being a gender thing. I feel like if you build a life with folks, you figure out systems that work. So for example, like we live in a 2-family house. Y'all take the trash down to the street, whoever it is, whether it's your son or your brother, right? Mm-hmm. And I bring the trash cans back up. Mm-hmm. We have a system that works for us.
Yeah.
We created a system. And I think that in any partnership, you figure those things out. There are chores. Like, I hate washing dishes. And it extends back to some shit in my childhood. I do not like dishes. My partner comes over and he does the dishes. He don't mind washing dishes. He understands that it freaks me the fuck out and was doing it even before then. But that is a system that we have created, and I appreciate the fuck out of him for taking care of it for me. Mm-hmm. Neither of us, if we had to cut the grass, which thank God we don't, but if we did, neither of us is interested in that shit. We had already decided that's some shit that we pay somebody else to do. He does not really like putting things together. Guess what? I fucking love putting things together. That is my job.
That's your jam.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. You know, I like to build a good bookcase. I like to put a dresser together. I like to put a chair together.
Good wardrobe.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
He'd be like, yeah, okay. This is for you.
I'm like, all right.
And it's fine, but
I have the finest
out
teas when you're finished. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I think about growing up in my, Midwestern home. And my grandmother and grandfather were very traditional. And a part of me loves taking care of my boo. Like, I love feeding people. Like, I turn into an old black lady when somebody come to my house. You hungry? I got some chicken. Let me fry you some chicken. Like that, that is what I do.
It's so funny because that has been such an evolution.
Right?
Because you used to cook? What?
One of my line sisters, she laughed. She was like, I would come to your house and the only thing you ever make was French toast. I made... My French toast is the shit. It's funny because my brother was saying that French toast, waffles, and pancakes are like Destiny's Child. One is your Kelly, one is your Beyonce, and one is your Michelle.
Ooh, which one's your B?
My B are pancakes because they're consistently good. Everyone likes them. But my French toast is Kelly. Often underrated, but good than a motherfucker. I use that thick ass bread. Oh, I gotta tell you about this new bakery I found. This thick ass bread, and then I use heavy whipping cream, and I use cinnamon, and nutmeg, and sugar. And it's just like, and a few other secret ingredients. It is so fucking good. And that's all I will make. So my line sister would be like, we'd be at Erica's house, like, it'd be like 3 PM. I'm like, I got some French toast. If you want some, I can whip you up some French toast. You're
like, bitch, can I have some chicken?
Yeah, exactly. So, what's your B?
I think it's French toast, but it's because it's my favorite.
Yeah. And then your Kelly or your waffles, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. My partner was like, they always taste exactly the same. How do you do that? I'm like, nigga, practice.
Consistency.
Yeah, I've been making them a long time.
Yeah, my brother's Kelly is French toast. And see, so here's the thing with pancakes. My grandfather used to make the best pancakes from scratch. We remember being in the limo driving away from the cemetery at his funeral. And my cousin was like, damn, we just buried good pancakes.
Oh my God.
My grandfather's pancakes were fucking magical. I don't know what I
none of y'all figured, like, ever asked?
Don't nobody know what to ask. And then I remember like there was a particular spoon in my granny's house that he used
to measure them out the right way.
Don't nobody know where that fucking spoon is. He probably put that shit in his back pocket and took it into the damn casket. Like,
not without me.
Yeah, it was like I will never, ever, ever
have a pancake like that.
Yeah, yep. So
my daddy used to make them in a big cast iron skillet, but you could only fit 3 in the skillet, and they was always weird shaped because they had to fit in the skillet. So pancake making was the slowest activity ever in my house.
Okay, and let me also tell you something. Yeah, we use a cast iron skillet, but that griddle shit, I thought rich people use griddles. Okay.
Until I bought one for like $35,
and then it was like
shit every weekend.
So okay, here's another thing. Hot take. You know how people say that they like their pancakes with crisp edges?
Mm-hmm.
That's only because y'all ain't had a good pancake. My grandpa's pancakes never needed a crisp. I didn't know what the fuck a crisp edge was until I started making my own pancakes and the required crisp edges to have somewhat a smidgen of the tastiness that my grandpa's pancakes had. I'm telling you. Like, if it's just a good fucking pancake, it don't need no crisp edge. Granted, the crisp edge is good because it gives you a little salty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I think the crisp edge is because you got some butter in it, honestly. Like, it's the butter that gives you the crisp edge. But the best pancakes I ever had was at a restaurant in New Orleans last year. The last trip I went on before the fucking world shut down. And they did not have a crisp edge, but they were fucking amazing. So amazing that we went back for breakfast like twice in a 6-day trip.
Okay, I need that places. Now you got me on this pancake search. I think I'm now going to begin the search for good pancakes.
I'm not telling you shit because we got a while for you can go anywhere.
Bitch, I ain't going nowhere. I can't. Really, the only reason keeping me from traveling at this point is the fact that I gotta go to the hospital once a month for shots. And they ask you, have you been anywhere every 21 days? And I'd be thinking like, well, maybe if I got a shot this day.
And they only need the next day. Don't do it.
And they got this mega Rona out now.
Yeah, well, thank goodness they're saying that it looks like the vaccine actually works for that one too.
Girl and honey, I'm like, I watched a woman put on a hazmat suit before she injected my body with medicine. Do you think I give a fuck about what's in that damn Rona vaccine? Rona vaccine gonna get in my body like, God damn.
This how you living?
The chemo gonna be like, surprise, shorty. Yo, my son said something about that he found on TikTok. He was like, have you ever heard da-da-da? And he said, I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, it's all over TikTok. I was like, not my side of TikTok, bro.
What was it?
I can't remember. I'll ask him. But it was something. It's something all the kids doing. But like,
they have so much stuff, but also they have so much old stuff. Like, your child be up here singing like old NSYNC songs and like, I'm like, bitch, what? Why do you know all the words and the ad libs to this song that came out when I was in high school?
Yeah, TikTok is interesting. I love it. There was this TikTok and it was like, show a picture of someone that you met that's changed your life and you couldn't live without. And then this chick cuts to the TikTok logo. And I was like, it's me. It's me. TikTok got me through 2020. Okay, so, do you have anything else to add?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, well, we are going to take a quick break and then we are going to head on into what's turning us on.
I like it. Hey, y'all. Today's a great day to start your own podcast. Whether you're looking for a new marketing channel, have a message you want to share with the world, or just think it'd be fun to have your own show like us, podcasting is an easy, inexpensive, and fun way to expand your reach online. And Buzzsprout is hands-on, the easiest and best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. Your show gets put online and listed in all the major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, everything, within minutes of finishing and uploading your recording. We use it here for the Turn On, and I can testify to the fact that it's pretty fucking dope. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and the team at Buzzsprout is passionate about helping you succeed. So join over 100,000 podcasters like us who are already using Buzzsprout to get their message to the world. Just click the link in our show notes and you'll be able to get your own account set up. And if you sign up for a paid plan, you'll get a $20 Amazon gift card and you get to support our show. Let's create something great together. Sign up for Buzzsprout today.
Okay, y'all. So this week we're going to talk about what's turning us on. This week we are going to talk about nipple suckers. They are interesting as hell. If you have been a part of my life, you know that I have titty issues. And so right now, there is nothing, not even sensation in these nipples. But they're like little silicone.
You like squish the air out of them and then
it
put
like
them on and it sucks. Yeah, just like that.
Your nipples. But let me tell you what I learned as a woman with nipples, but also what's kind of buttony and nipple-like down below.
It's a clit.
Bam, slap some lube on that bitch, put it down there and go at it.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Love it.
Right?
Love it. So I am someone who has probably sometimes too much feeling in their nipples. Lord have mercy. But I have traditionally really liked clamps, but I can't always handle those. Some days my boobs just don't want the clamps. And so the suckers are a good way to get yourself some pressure and some suction. And not just in partner play, but in solo play, because you got your hands busy elsewhere, but you also want some nipple stimulation. That is a good way to go, because you just squeeze all the air out, put them over your nipple, let them go, and then you've got some consistent pressure going on that can help to get you where you're trying to go. Yeah. So there's a link to that in the show notes for this episode for anybody who is interested in getting on that nipple suction train.
Yes, y'all. Okay. And with that wraps up this week's episode of The Turn On.
We are Killa and E.
Two hoes making it clap.
Making it clap.
Ding, 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 ding.
I like it.
Bye, y'all.
This episode was produced by us, Kenrya and Erica, and edited by Ballistic. The theme music is from Brazy. Now you can support The Turn On and get off. Subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast app, then drop us a 5-star review, and you'll be entered to win something that's turning us on. Just post your review and email us a screenshot at theturnonpodcast@gmail.com to enter. Our Patreon page is also live. Become a supporter today and you'll gain access to lots of goodies, including the Turn On Book Club and 2-for-1 raffle entries. And don't forget to send us your book recommendations and your sex and related questions. And follow us on Twitter at The Turn On Pod and Instagram at The Turn On Podcast. You can find links to books, merch, transcripts, guest info, and other fun stuff at theturnonpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening, and we will see you soon. Bye.